Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our monthly membership webinar. We're so excited to have you with us tonight. Our topic for tonight is personal engagement strategies for member retention. And we have an awesome panel lined up for you tonight. And we are going to just remind you that we have some things to just share with you, that this actually is a webinar format. So you don't have the chat function available to you, but you can put questions in the Q&A. And at the end of the night, after our panelists go, we will try to answer those questions if they haven't had a chance to respond to you. So just kind of put them in that Q&A as we go. And we are going to start off with a question from our last, or a panel poll question from our last webinar last month. If you remember, if you were able to join us, it was about sponsoring a service companion club. And so we're asking you, have you started a companion club? If you can please answer that for us now, we appreciate that. And then as we look at those answers coming up, we're going to turn it over to our moderator tonight. We have Adi with us, and he is going to be our moderator. So, okay, we've had some. There you go. We had 27% that said yes, so that's awesome. We hope that you gained something from the insight we shared last month, and there's still time. So if you haven't done it yet, I know in our district, we had a club leadership training last weekend, and we've got people that are working on them. So I think we will see more before you're in. So thank you for that. All right, Adi, I'm going to turn it over to you to take us forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mindy. Good evening and welcome to this personal engagement strategies for member retention webinar. Tonight, as previously mentioned, we'll hear from 3 seasoned Rotarians who will share actionable ideas for keeping members connected and committed. As was said, after each presentation, you'll have to respond to a quick poll. But first, I am delighted to introduce our new RI Regional Membership Officer, Carla Escobar, to you. So welcome, Carla. Meet everyone.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Carla Escobar, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. I hope that your day went well. So, I'm your new regional membership officer for Zones 25B and 29, and I'm part of the membership development team here at Rotary International. As your RMO, I can't wait to get to know you, learn about your membership goals, and support the great work happening across your clubs and district. My job is to help you build on what's already working, help you bring in new members, help you keep them engaged, and create an experience that keeps them involved. If your club or district is looking for ways to increase participation or bring fresh energy to your meetings, I'm here to help you find ideas that align with your goals and match your club's unique culture. So a little bit more about me. I work with seniors on district and of course, club leaders to highlight key areas of Rotary's action plan, like raising awareness of available resources, encouraging diverse and flexible membership options, and driving sustainable growth. Many of those resources can be found on our website at rotary.org/membership. And I'll be sure to drop some of these links on the chat in a bit. And I'm always available to help you figure out what works best for your club and explore those resources. You can think of me as your go-to person for membership support. You know, you can share an idea with me and I can help brainstorm, or if you need advice on a challenge, or if you simply just want to celebrate a success in your club, I'm here for you. So now a little bit more about me. So I don't know if you can tell by the accent, but I'm originally from El Salvador and I now live in Chicago. But I started working with Rotary back in August of 2023. But fun fact, I first heard about the organization when I was a kid through a commercial back home, and it stuck with me because it gave me the sense that Rotary is something special and worldwide. And now I'm lucky to be part of this work and help you as much as I can. As part of my education, I have a master's in public policy from the University of Chicago and a bachelor's in advertising and public relations from University of Chicago. So through those programs, I developed some skills in data, communications, and storytelling. So I'm here, to help you use those tools and help create, help your club with creative but practical ways. So just wanted to introduce myself. Feel free to, reach out to me if you want to let me know what you're working on, schedule some time to chat. I'm here to listen, learn, share ideas. I will share my email on the chat, but don't hesitate to get in touch. And thank you all for all you do to make Rotary a welcoming, supported, and inspired place. And thanks for the organizing for having me today. Thank you, Adi.
Thank you. Thank you, caller, and welcome. We're all Chicagoans here. Anyway, thank you very much. So I will bring on our first panelist, Kim Crone, who will show us how enhancing club meetings with leadership opportunities and meaningful experiences directly strengthens member loyalty. I'm going to ask Kim the question about how do well-designed meeting experiences and leadership roles drive higher retention. With much ado, Kim,
Oh,
you're up.
thank you, Adi. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Isn't it amazing that we can all be in so many different places and have these very impactful meetings? So my name is Kim Crone and I live in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I belong to the Rotary Club of Minneapolis. There are a lot of clubs in the Twin Cities areas, but my club is the original club in this area. We call it Club Number 9 because it was the 9th club in the world. So I also serve as the district membership chair for District 5950. And I actually have only been a member of this district and this club for less than 2 years. I belonged to 2 clubs previously in 2 different districts. So I've had a lot of fun seeing how different clubs do different things without having to travel a lot to different meetings. So welcome to the webinar today. There is a presentation that was going to be shared, if possible. There we go. Great. So we're going to talk a lot about the club experience because Rotary does a lot to collect data and analyze it and use it and share it with us. We can go to the next slide. So that we can make our clubs better. And next slide. And we know that the most important factors driving member satisfaction and retention are comfort with other members and enjoying the club experience. So tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of different strategies that Rotary has found to be desirable in the club experience, and also some of the examples that our different clubs have shared with us. So next slide, please. So Rotary International does a lot of data analysis and research, but there are 45,000 clubs in more than 200 countries. So it's likely that different clubs need different things in their meetings, and that the members of their clubs and potential members want different things in a club. So I think likely that hopefully all the people on this call know that Rotary has given us some great resources to do club satisfaction surveys of our members. And also I know we have a lot of bright people who know how to survey and ask and feel out what is needed by our communities as far as clubs and what will provide for the best club experience and the most successful one. And I also like to recommend a book that's been going around our district leadership called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker. It's a wonderful book providing guidance on intentionality in planning group activities. It's a wonderful book, lots of really super ideas to help what we do be more effective. And next slide. So I would encourage you with your clubs to think about making sure that your mission is clear and that you're transparent about your mission with your members of your clubs and also potential members. It'd be great if we all shared the same values. We want to get somewhat there with our clubs by discussing values, discussing what we want to accomplish in Rotary clubs, and then communicating those clearly. We have a club in our district that's even changed its name. The club didn't feel like it was meeting its goals, and its name was the Rotary Veterans Club, and they've now changed their name to the Rotary Club Supporting Veterans because they felt that it more clearly reflected the reason that the club was formed in the first place. They had a lot of potential members thinking they had to be a veteran to be able to qualify for membership. And that was never the intention in forming the club. So think about your name, where you meet, how you share that mission and those values with potential members and your own members that are already members. It has been shown through surveys that providing hands-on opportunities for contact with projects helps your members know what the values are in the club, what the mission is in the club. And I would encourage you to be really specific with your members about what the expectation is for participation, as far as active participation and also giving and other types of support, because that helps with retention. Some of our clubs have a yearly presidential theme, and so it builds on those values and the mission, but gives a more specific focus for a particular year of Rotary service and activity. I think it's very important to celebrate what we do with our clubs and to have some traditions that your members can rely on, that they can appreciate, that they can brag about to other people. The Rotary Club of Willmar, Minnesota has a celebration each spring for their new members. So the purpose of the event is to celebrate new members. And of course, all the other members are invited as well. Other clubs are going to celebrate holidays or a particular event that they do every year. But thinking about that, building tradition and a celebration is often a good way to do it. Other clubs like to build tradition by doing logo wear sales and organizing that for their members. And it can also be a fundraiser if you want to make it clear to your members that, yeah, we're going to make a little money off of this too for our special charity that we are involved with. Some people would like to see us be more of a pin wearing culture. And I'll tell you, when I wear my pin around to activities that are not Rotarian, when I go about the Twin Cities, I often get comments, oh, that's a Rotary pin. Oh yeah, I know about Rotary, and we talk about it. And it's a great way to be able to invite people to check out Rotary. One of the 3 clubs that I have belonged to was a great big club, a very large club. And we met in a big event center every week. 200 people attended about all of our meetings. And they made a big deal about making sure there were tables reserved for new members. And I think there are 2 purposes in that. One is, you can imagine walking into a room with 200 people and wondering, will I be able to find a seat? Will anyone allow me to sit at their table? I don't know anybody. And so it gives those new members a place to sit, but it also provides an opportunity for a group of new members to be a cohort. And so that cohort will have joined Rotary together. They will be experiencing some of those Rotary first together, and they get to have lunch with people that they might see every week. So another way to help us build our sense of camaraderie in our clubs. And next slide. Obviously, we all think that we should have a friendly, welcoming atmosphere in our club. And so we're all working on that, I would hope. And certainly for retaining members, knowing that you're going to see your buddies and people that you've shared strategies with and different programming with is going to be important. In our club, the Rotary Club in Minneapolis, we make sure that we have a time for members to converse. And I think that's a proven strategy. And we do it at the beginning of the meeting. So some clubs will have greeters who greet everyone that comes into the meeting. In our club, pretty much everyone takes responsibility for that. And I would doubt that there's ever been a visitor to our club that wasn't greeted at least 10 times at one of our meetings, because everyone takes responsibility for it. That's not always a possibility in our club. That's just part of our culture. I think having a clear agenda for your meetings, because members do like a predictable, efficient meeting. Adi, are you giving me the signal?
No, just
Okay. So being clear with your agenda. As a club president of one of my clubs, I changed the agenda in a way that I didn't think it was a big deal, but it was a really big deal. And I did it the wrong way. So I would encourage you, as you look at improving your meetings and making them the best they can be, that you do involve other club members and other leaders in the club to do that. And I would encourage you to look at your club culture and make sure that it feels inclusive to others. In our club, we've also added to the 4-way test. I don't know if this is legal or not in Rotary, but we've added a 5th question, and it is, and will it be fun? And so we're communicating that anyone that comes to our meetings knows that we prioritize having a good time and having fun. Okay, next slide.
uh,
And only a couple more, I promise.
okay, try to wrap up.
Okay, I just would like to encourage everyone to think about making sure that the traditions in their club do not feel exclusive. Not too many inside jokes at your meetings that you don't explain to people, so that everyone feels included. And then finally, I would make sure you're introducing your members to the broader world of Rotary. When my first club hosted its first district conference, I learned so much about Rotary that I didn't know otherwise. So district conferences, encouraging your members that this is a really good way to spend their time, and to go to Rotary International conferences as well, because that really can expand our members' connection with Rotary. And one last quote. There's an economist named Dr. Manoush Skafik, who's been in the news quite a bit over the past couple of years. And as an economist, she says, in the past, jobs were about muscle. Now they're about brains, but in the future, they'll be about heart. And I think Rotary plays a big role in making sure our communities have heart.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Wonderful presentation. So much to take away. Shared values, hands-on projects, and celebrating the club. So we really appreciate that. There's so much in Q&A for you, so please take a look at that. A lot of people enjoy the presentation. Now we're going to have our first poll question, or our second poll question. All right. Is your club establishing engagement activities for your members? Is your club establishing engagement activities for your members? Yes, no. And if you don't know, we'd like to know about that too. Thank you. All right. We should be getting your survey responses right about now. Wow, very good. Excellent. 89%. Very good. Thank you. Well, moving right along, we have our second panelist, Ray King. Ray is, we'll tell you where he's from. So please welcome Ray King, whose club boasts 86% retention rate, thanks to a robust onboarding and mentoring program. My key question for Ray is, what distinguishes onboarding from mentoring? And how can clubs of any size scale, how can they scale their approaches? So with much ado, Ray, please take it on. Welcome.
Great. Thank you, Adi. Appreciate it. And it's really an honor to be here. Again, my name is Ray King. I am a member of the Cross Timbers Rotary Club in Flower Mound, Texas. That's District 5790. I'm currently the foundation chair of that club. I spent 4 or 5 years putting together the mentoring and onboarding program for the club, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm also a member of District 5790's membership committee, and my specific area of focus for the district is onboarding and mentoring. And so that's why I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about it. So let me start by saying sometimes onboarding is simply a new member doing certain activities that allows them to kind of self-learn about Rotary. I onboarded myself 6 years ago as well, and I just kind of got some tools when I first joined the club. And I started just doing things. So let me share my story. 6 years ago, I joined the club. I was new to the area. I didn't know many people in the business community, and I didn't know anybody in the Rotary Club. And I was given a new member packet that included a checklist of things to work on. And I'm kind of an overachiever, and so I got through this checklist of things in about 5 weeks. But what I found at the end of the 5 or 6 weeks was that I really didn't learn. I didn't learn a whole lot about Rotary, or at least I didn't feel like I did. And I didn't think I learned a whole lot about our club and its members because I kind of self-learned, but I didn't know what I was looking for. And I heard a lot of things going on in the meetings, and things didn't quite register for me. And so going through it real quickly wasn't certainly the way to do things. And so at the time, I asked our club membership chair if the club had a mentoring program. And obviously they didn't. And I said, well, I've got a lot of experience in doing this kind of program. Would you mind if I put together a proposal to the board to see if we could start a mentoring program? And I didn't have to twist people's arms very much, and they said certainly. And so I started working on it. And before I jump into my slides, I guess I want you to think about a question. I'll challenge you. If you were hiring a new person at your company, would you allow them to just figure out how to do things on their own? Or would you provide them with a plan and support as a new employee? So with that, Fern, can you give me the first slide, please? So new members are going to learn how to be a Rotarian. You bring a new person in, whether you do anything with them or not, they're going to learn how to be a Rotarian. And so in the absence of knowledge and or guidance, what kind of Rotarian are they going to be? Next slide. So onboarding is a process of introducing members to club policies, procedures, expectations, club culture, as well as specific member responsibilities. So it's a process, and it should be a process. Next slide. So these are the things that my club does in terms of onboarding. It doesn't mean that it's the only thing that you can do, but this is what our club does, and we've been pretty successful at it. So the first thing is every member, once they've been notified that they're going to be a member, they get a welcome email from the membership chair, and that email gives them certain information about what their expectations are and what they can, who's going to work with them. And so that's the very first thing, is a formal email with some instructions. The second thing that is included in our program is a new member induction ceremony. You can see the picture on the right there. We make a big deal about inducting people. The person's sponsor is part of that process. The person's mentor is part of that process. The club president is part of that process. They get that package that you can see there. That's the third part. So part of the induction ceremony is giving them that information package, and we make a big deal about it. Next. Then we assign them a mentor. I could spend hours and hours talking about our mentoring program, but essentially what we do is we try to identify a person who has maybe similar interests, maybe similar background, maybe even age specific, a person who's outspoken, has experience, things like that. And so we match that person up with the new person with that mentor, and they guide them through the process. One of the next things that they get as part of the onboarding process, and many of you have a red badge program of some sort, is they get a red badge checklist. It's kind of their blueprint for doing a lot of the onboarding and the activities that we want them to be able to do as part of a new member. Some of our stuff is there on the screen. It may be too small. Obviously, I can provide this to them, but this is all I actually had, was a red badge checklist, but I didn't have a mentor that when I looked at number 2 and I had a question about it, today our new members can ask a mentor, what does number 2 mean? How do I do that? Where do I go to get this stuff? So the red badge checklist is a blueprint of activity for our members to follow so that they can get through the process in a very efficient way. Next slide, please. Our onboarding process also includes a new member orientation. You can see the picture on the left there. That new member orientation does include a PowerPoint presentation. There's a lot of people in that room, but there's 3 people there who are new members. We run our new member orientation the same week every month. The second week of the month, we have a lunch. We pay for the lunch. for the new members. The other people in there, some of those people are their mentors. They want to be there with them during the new member orientation. We take them through all the information that we think is appropriate. The other picture you see there, which is another really important part to our program, is a new member social. Once a quarter, we invite all of our new members, along with their spouses or their partners or something like that, to come to a social at one of our board members' homes. So what you see here is board members, their spouses or partners, new members and their spouses. And it's just a way for our new members to get to know our board of directors and ask them questions, and again, make them feel really, really comfortable with our club and our activities. It's so much fun. It's just, we just really, really enjoy it. So this is a quarterly event that we do, obviously 4 times a year. Next slide. Once a person's gotten through all of their onboarding stuff, they've finished their checklist, again, we make a big deal about about a blue badge ceremony. When they finish, they're going to get their blue badge. Here you can see the person getting their blue badge along with the membership chair, their sponsor, and their mentor. And then finally, and this is a really big deal for us as well, after they've finished all of those things, they've gotten their blue badge, I personally will meet with every new member and have an onboarding feedback session with them. You know, it's real easy to say that our process is working, but I actually sit down, have lunch with them, speak to them about not just the checklist, but how did their first 2 months, 3 months, 6 months with the club go. We've learned a lot of terrific things. We've added things to our program. We've changed things on our program based on the feedback that we've gotten. This process is what we've been using for the last 5 years. We have an 87% retention rate of the people who have joined in the last 5 years. And we're constantly improving our program. So hopefully that's been some value to you.
Excellent, Ray. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. I mean, going through the process very, very succinctly, and then the importance of that mentor. It's wonderful how, well, now we know why you have such a high rate of retention. It takes a lot of effort. So we'll
Yes,
get
it
back
does.
to you, and please check the Q&A.
I
So
will.
now let's look at the next poll. All right. Do you have a structural plan for onboarding members? Do you have a structured plan for onboarding members? Yes, no, and let's know if you don't know. Yeah, it's very, very critical, as we've just gone through. A lot of people talk about the red badge, but it's more than that. People need to learn how to be a Rotarian. And I like the idea of what kind of a Rotarian do you want to be? So here we go. It's about almost 50-50. 47% have a plan, 50% don't, and a handful say they don't know. So that's something to work on. That's an action plan. Thank you very much. All right, moving along. It's wonderful so far. It's great. Here comes our third panelist, Mike Whatman. So please welcome Mike Whatman, who will discuss how social events and personalized outreach help every member feel included and valued. We've heard that word value again, mission value. Mike, what types of inclusive activities outside regular meetings build genuine connections? So you'll talk about that. Welcome, Mike.
Very good. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And hopefully, I can build on the first two panelists, what they said. I'm not sure. They've covered lots of good things. And if you're taking good notes, you have a lot of good things already that you can take away from this. I am Mike Wortman, and I am a member of Rotary Club 14 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Kim mentioned she was part of Minneapolis 9. Well, we are 14. We were the 14th club that was of all the clubs, the Rotary clubs there are. I'm a member of 5650 district and live in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm past president of our club, and I'm also a past district trainer for our district. Career-wise, I am a retired high school principal. I was a principal for 40 years in 3 different high schools. And some of the things I'm going to say might be, well, they will be from the point of view of an educator and thinking in terms of what I learned in my years in public high schools. So I was 15 years as a high school principal in Hutchinson, Kansas. And I first joined Rotary there. And now I've been in Lincoln, Nebraska for almost 30 years. And I've been a Rotary member here for that length of time. So that's kind of my bias today, is looking at things through the eyes of an educator. I guess when you talk about club members being engaged, that means they're involved, they're interested, they're thriving, flourishing. Those are all kinds of ways. And there's also a bias towards learning. I think people that are engaged are learning something with everything, every meeting they come to, they learn something new. It might be a speaker, or it might be they learning something about other club members. So the last couple of years, I've had a younger brother of mine who retired as a longtime history teacher, and he joined a Rotary club in his area, a suburb of Omaha in Elkhorn, a much smaller club. My club has about 250 members. His club has like 25 members. Well, within a year or so, he was president of his club. And so we've had a lot of discussions about, okay, what can he do? How does that work? And it's amazing. Size matters, but in some ways it doesn't. In Rotary, there's so many things, concepts that I think fit with any club, any size, because it comes down to individual people. It's all about relationships. Relationships are important. And people are like snowflakes. There's no two alike. And people join Rotary for their reasons, not our reasons, and they have a reason for doing that. In education, we have a phrase called IEP, Individual Educational Plan, for each student. They have a way to, what should education be for them? Well, I think thinking about that for Rotary, we can have an individual engagement plan for each person. What is engaging for one person might be different than it is for something else. And as a club leader, we have to continually figure out ways to know our club members, know your audience, know what makes them tick. Sometimes somebody was mentioned about sacred cows, or when you got something in your club that's been there for a long time, you don't want to change it too quickly. But I think you also have to be willing to make changes. So you know the individuals in your club, you know their why. Why did they join this? What is their why? What is their reason? So I'm in education, in school buildings, quite often for teachers, we have staff development things. We call them make and take. They make something to the staff meeting, and then they can take it with them to the classroom the next day. Well, I'm going to try to give you just kind of a quick list, and some of them have kind of been mentioned a little bit already, of just things that you can make and take with you to your club next week, next year starts on July 1, or whatever you want to do. Again, going back to, it's all about relationships. Some of you may know or heard of Don Clifton of Gallup fame and the Clifton Strengths. Well, interestingly, he was a district governor many years ago for our district, 5650. And he had a saying, if you want to know what people think, Ask them. And it's fairly simple. Ask people. Well, there's a lot of different ways you can ask. And somebody already talked about the way of getting feedback through some formal surveys that Rotary has. But within your own club, you should have some kind of a regular feedback loop that you figure out and have people reply to what's the best thing they like about the club. What's some suggestions they have for improving it? What are some suggested activities? What are some projects in the community? So people feel that they have an opportunity to provide input. And a lot of that can be also informal, just by getting to know people, sit with them, be close to them at meetings and at different activities. So that's one of the items. Another one is sometimes think about who is in front of the club and who's at the microphone if you're big enough that you need a microphone for your club meetings. So there's ways to do that, to have other people's voice in the room. Everybody should have their voice in the room from time to time. One of the things that I suggest to my brother, and he's done, and we've done it too, is a Rotary Minute, where people just get a chance to get up and talk about their occupation. What's their career path? How did they get there? And what kinds of things did they do? And it's amazing. My brother commented about this. It kind of seemed like if somebody had their Rotary Minute, the next meeting, they came to the meeting and maybe a little earlier, and they were smiling a little more because they knew people knew about them. And it kind of provided an insight that they had a chance to share. They felt included and known by more of their club members. Sometimes we also have table talks. We're just sitting around the table, have one question to start the meeting, and everybody just shares a quick go around. Or sometimes we've had what we called elbow partners. People can sit and you just pair up with somebody sitting right next to you and you have a question. You take 30 seconds to give the answer and they take 30 seconds and then you share. So you know a little bit more about one person at least. Some clubs I know do a thing called Happy Bucks, where as they go around, everybody can make a donation of $1 if they just make some announcement or thank somebody in their family or their workplace of work or another Rotary member or something like that. Sometimes too, just even how people sit and where they sit at club meetings. Do some people get possessive about certain chairs, certain tables they sit at? A number of years ago, I remember one of our younger members was at the microphone, and before she started, she said, "See that table over there? I want to sit at that table someday." Well, it was the table where the mature club members had been sitting there for a long time. That was kind of their social outlet once a week to come and meet their peer group at that table. And sometimes that's good, but sometimes you also need to not be totally exclusive at certain tables. Sometimes it's good to mix things up and have different people. Another thing, my brother and I are talking about different things to do. He had people, one person a week, but they talked about the 4-way test and how did they use the 4-way test? What did that mean in their particular career, their line of work? Because there's dignity in every profession, and we can use the 4-way test in every profession. A thing that my current president is doing, she has a one Wednesday a month called Wine Wednesday. And at 5 o'clock, a local establishment, people can just show up. It's just optional. And we have a club of 250 people. We may have 15 show up, 20, whatever, and they show up, and it's just a Wine Wednesday. At the last one I was at, there was a younger member who'd just been in club just a little over a year, and we were talking and kind of looked around, and she was kind of the only one out of her age group that was there at the time. And somebody said, "So, how you doing?" Or what do you? Why are you here? Or what are you doing? And anyhow, she just said, "Some of my friends have a hard time understanding why I'm coming to all these Rotary things." But she said, "I feel like I found my people." And wouldn't it be great if every member said, "I found my people by joining Rotary." So sometimes you have to work on that and provide opportunities for them to do that. Programs, speakers, everybody should feel like when you come to a club meeting, you learn something. And that's important, that you keep up on the community happenings and all that. You're learning something. Lots been said already about new member orientation, but that has a lot to do with, I think, people's involvement and engagement. If they get off on the right foot and understand the club and the intricacies, because we're a pretty complex organization in a whole lot of ways. The committees and projects that we have a lot of different committees and projects. And so in some ways it's a good opportunity for people to find something that they have passion for and they can really get part of. So Um, Club assemblies, I think some people know about that. Attendance follow. If somebody has regular attendance and then all of a sudden it kind of falls off and they haven't, does somebody get a hold of them and check with them, check in with them? Because it's kind of like, if you miss some meetings and nobody checks on you, it's like, well, did they miss me? Does that even matter? Family events, Rotary events outside of your club, go to other district meetings and so on. I think those are all things. And the last thing I'd say is that sometimes people, when they have events, there's a question in their mind about what percentage of our club needs to come before we think this is a success. And my answer is, there is no answer. The people that show up are exactly the people that should be there. And if they consider it worth their time, then it was a success. If it's 10% or 80% of your club, that was a success. So I guess I just go back to say it's all about relationships. It's all about people getting to know each other. And if you feel involved, you feel included, that you're part of a group that you feel good about. And I guess I just feel involved by being asked to do this, and I feel included. So thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. I was president of a school board in my in my other life. And when you were talking about IEPs and so on and so forth, I thought, oh yeah, it's good to have an IMP, individualized member plan. That's very good. No better way to feel included, and as you did say, we're all snowflakes and there are different things that attract us and different interests. But if we don't know about it, how do we then be part of a community, a collective? So very good. Thank you very much. Very insightful. And appreciate all the three of you. Well, we will have a poll next, and then we probably will all get back together. So thank you, Mike. Now, this is from the April question number 4. Did you learn one more idea to help your members feel included? Yes or no? I know I did. So many different things, a plethora of them. So thank you very much. I like the elbow partner. All right, so let's see what people had to say. Excellent, 97%. I'd like to talk to those 3% that said they didn't learn anything. I mean, I've been in Rotary for quite a while, and I did learn quite a bit, Mike. Thank you very much. All right. I believe we do have some closing. I just want to do a closing remark, and then we'll have our host come back and tell us about what to do for the next time. So thank you, first of all, to Carla for sharing her insights, and she is available if you need any information from her through Rotary International. Kim, Ray, Mike, for sharing such valuable insights. Tonight's key takeaways: elevate meeting experiences by integrating leadership roles and interactive content. Implement structured onboarding and mentoring to welcome and guide new members. And then foster inclusion through social events and one-on-one outreach so every Rotarian feels known. That's so critical. So please take a moment, think about that. And I do know that I take away quite a bit tonight. So with that much so, I think we're running out of some time here. Or do I still have some time? Mindy?
I think most of the questions have been answered. So thank you for putting your questions in, and thank you for those that responded to those questions. All of our presenters, you can tell they have such a passion, and they definitely are engaging their members. So I'm so glad that we got to hear your tips. Some of them seem so basic and simple, but we get busy in our Rotary lives and we forget some of those things. So thank you for all of those wonderful reminders and for the lessons we learned tonight, because I know people will take them back and use them in a very valuable way. I just want to put a reminder out there. Remember, this is a monthly webinar. So our next one will actually be on May 20th. And that one is going to be involving members for long-term commitment. So we also have the opportunity for next year as we're thinking forward. If you have a topic that you haven't heard, and you can always go to our website, to our zone website, it's zones25b-29.org, and they're all recorded. So if you think, I don't remember the topics, go take a look at that list, because it's great information to share also with your clubs if they didn't get to watch it, or just others that you're wanting to share information with. But take a look and see if you see a topic there that you think, I wish we could have this. Email us, because when you get the link reminding you that the webinar is coming up, there's Lloyd Campbell's address there. So you can email him and you can let him know, hey, here's a topic I would love to hear next year, because we're in our planning phase right now, planning for next year to continue bringing these to you. We want them to be meaningful. We want the topics to be what you want to hear. So please share that with us. And then always at the end, we try to do a call to action. So after you've heard these wonderful speakers tonight with the inspiration from Kim, Ray, and Mike, we would like you maybe to think about, how are you connecting with members to keep them engaged and committed? It's really important. So we want you to stop and reflect on that. And next month, when you come back to join us, we'll probably have a poll related to what you've done with that call to action. So take a minute to reflect on these wonderful ideas they've shared with us, and what can you do? How can you take that back and put it into action? And I think that we're going to probably give you a few minutes back here. We're ending a little early. We certainly appreciate, Carla, your time coming and joining us, and we're excited to have you as a resource. And Audie, thank you so much for facilitating. You always do a wonderful job. And to our wonderful webinar team that are behind the scenes and with the planning, we appreciate all of you for your time in joining us tonight, and we hope that you found it valuable. So please go forward and enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Mindy. It was quite a robust presentation.